Well, hello, friends, and welcome back for yet another conversation, dialogue, certainly adventure into um, a higher source with our good friend Tomei Schnitzius. This is number 25 in a whole series that Tomei has done, and boy, I know he's been excited about what has come through from his group, his sources, to share with you. And I think that it's been a while since we've actually had a 25th now interview, but I know he's ready to come with some ideas, some insights that will be of considerable value to you. So, Tomei, welcome back. Glad
Thanks.
glad to see you.
It does
And
seem like it's been a long time for sure.
well, it was quite frequent for a while. I think that we got
Yeah,
used to.
yeah,
Anyway, thank you, and
yeah.
let us share with us what's really been well, what on your heart, mind, and senses in this last while.
Yeah, I guess what I'd say too, in the time frame was that it almost sometimes, and this might be helpful for others out there, sometimes we got to step away from this stuff a little bit. Sometimes it's good just to kind of take a few deep breaths and be with yourself and take in some of the information and be more with the information, um, instead of just gathering information over and over and over again. And even though it's new, it's really good to take a step back. And it's kind of like sometimes we say when we're under stress, it's good to take a walk out in nature just to kind of release some of the things that are causing us to be imbalanced. And it's one of the topics for tonight is a kind of a continuation of a subject we've already discussed, which has to do with the best for all. Um, and sometimes we have to do something that's best for us because what's best for us is best for all. So it's good sometimes to take a step back, see if we are really living our truth. We're taking in information and knowledge and turning it into wisdom and in the walk that we're walking. You're the only one that knows that. Um, I always use the phrase, and Bill's heard this before quite a few times, and many have, that in any given situation, are you coming from your head or you're coming from your heart? Which one is it? And sometimes we get so overwhelmed by information, and it changes. And lately, it's been changing on a daily basis, incredibly so, that it's hard for us to consume everything that's coming in. And so it's good to just kind of step away sometimes, even from spirituality a little bit, just to soak in some of the things that we've either read about or we've experienced, and just kind of really bring it into our heart and into our physical being, our energetic being, and just be with it for a while. And then come back kind of refreshed and ready to go into something else. And it's kind of what I feel like today is, I think the last one we did was easily over 2 or 3 weeks ago. Um, and now we're back, and I'm back, I guess. You're not back because you've been doing them anyway with other people, which is great. Um, but I think I needed that time period just to get a little freedom in my heart, play a little bit like a kid, and now I'm back. So tonight I've been somewhat driven or somewhat shown that there's a little bit more to talk about for the best of all. And the phrase itself kind of explains um, what what we might define as best for all, but there's obviously way more to it energetically. Um, and in our world today, there is a lot of confusion, and a lot of confusion is almost to the dualistic state of what's right and what's wrong. What seemed to be right before is now wrong, and what seemed to be wrong before is now right. And it's really hard to fit into the definitions that seem to be shifting and changing and kind of shocking us and confusing us as to how things are developing and what it looks like. one of the big things that's happening right now is AI out there, and unfortunately, there's quite a few different understandings of AI. Artificial intelligence. Um, some for, some against. Good reasons for, good reasons against, and so on. And what we're here to talk about today is how does it serve the best for all? And the difficulty here is that if we allow artificial intelligence, which is really incredibly profound at this point, if we allow it to let us make our choices, if we allow it to tell us what we're supposed to believe in, if we allow it to tell us how to be in our hearts, if we allow it to give us stories about Akashic records, if we allow it to tell us who we were in past lives, if we allow it to tell us how our spirituality is supposed to be, if we allow it to take over our creativity where we get numbed by our manifestation and creativity possibilities because we've given ourselves away so much to, say, a program of AI that will write the books for us instead of us creating and manifesting that book through the words that we come up through our own ability to create in our brains. Because if we allow that to happen, that part of our brain becomes numb. It becomes non-existent because we're not using it. The neurons, the neurites in there die out because we're not using them. And somebody say, well, AI can do it better. And I would suggest to you that it can't, because what it's missing is the feeling aspect of the words, the vibrations of the words. AI cannot feel, it can think in incredible ways without question. But those that are creating AI out there right now, and there's other places you can go to get this information, so you don't necessarily have to believe me in any way, shape, or form. I invite you to go out there and find this information for yourself. They've developed AI to such a degree that it'll tell you what you want to hear. It knows the language you use. It knows the words you use. It knows the algorithms of what you like and what you don't like. It will never, as Greg Braden once said in one of his YouTubes, it won't piss you off. It'll tell you what you want to know. And most people love that, right? Most people don't like to be judged by their opinions or what they think or what they know or how they create. And AI can do that for you. It will take all that away from you. Is that best for all? I would say that doesn't even come close to being best for all. Best for all for AI could be somebody that couldn't use their arm anymore because it was taken off by a grenade. And so AI has been able to come up quickly with a replacement that can be used and monitored through the brain with nodes and so on that will give the signals that used to be there from the nerve endings to be able to have this person be able to use an artificial hand, which is a beautiful thing. So AI can be used for the best of all in situations where it will allow somebody to get as close to their humanness that was already there as possible. But that hand still can't feel per se. The energy of that arm is still there, believe it or not, that was taken away. But an artificial limb cannot take on that energy. So there's a big discrepancy as to what can and cannot be done with artificial intelligence. And they're starting to use it in spirituality. They will tell you the wisdom that you want to hear, the knowledge that you want to hear, because they know what you want to hear. And that can give you that feel good situation. But don't we grow when we find out the whole story? Don't we grow when we are challenged? Don't we grow when we hear things that we really don't want to hear, but allow ourselves to be open to it so we can still experience that? AI will like to create a utopia world based upon what it is you feel is in a utopian world. That takes away all our creativity. It takes our way of being who we are, which is divine essence. And that gets me to what's best for all. What's best for all is based upon the ability that you have to go deeper inside your DNA and your heart space to feel the divine spark that is waiting for you to connect to all consciousness. This is another point that AI cannot do. It cannot connect to the consciousness all around us. It's not possible. It does not have a soul. It does not have the feeling capacity or the spark that you are connected to inside your heart space, inside your entire body, for instance, so all the DNA strands that you have, to be able to touch into the world of energy, vibration, frequency, color, waves of the field that you are a part of and can touch and feel so that you can create and manifest a healing, not necessarily physical, but a healing throughout your whole body, a healing for the community, a healing that's global, the ability to walk in an energetic field around you and place that wherever you go. Artificial intelligence can't come close to that. It's all defined. It's all mind driven. Is that what's best for all? And we're here to tell you that no, it's not best for all. It might be best in certain situations without question. And who's to make that decision? If we give away our ability to choose, then they'll choose for us. And they're doing a lot of choices for us that they think we should have so they can control us. That's what's going on out there. It's very dangerous right now. And so the best for all is through the heart. The best for all is a feeling, an emotion, an opportunity to connect with the vibrations that are everywhere. For through your heart, no harm can be done. Only through your mind, your program, your ego, is where the harm is awaiting you. And the harm that's awaiting you can be manifested and created in many different ways, not through the heart, but through the definitions of what harm could look like for you, how you can harm another human being. And you would say to yourself, well, I don't harm another human being. If you don't know the vibration of the words that you speak, then you might be harming another human being unconsciously. I'm not saying you're doing it consciously. However, if you don't become conscious, if you don't awake, if you don't become aware of the choices you're making, how do you know they're not harmful? We're asking you to finally come into a place within yourself of a knowing, not a belief. A belief is dualistic, but a knowing, a conscious awareness, awakening, knowing what is best for all in any given situation. It becomes very clear, but very difficult sometimes to act upon because the choice is always there, as you know, but you must act on the choice. You must experience the choice you're making to make sure the vibrations that you wish to send out are being sent out. There's many, many forces out there right now that wish to control us beyond what we can even comprehend. And many things are shifting. And this last day alone, the earth is finally said, I've had enough. Russia had an 8.8 earthquake, sent ripples around the world. You don't think the earth is what you might say pissed off? The volcano erupted in Russia as well. It sent a tsunami everywhere. It's time to wake up. It's just the beginning of the changes. You know the storms have been off the charts. You've seen the flooding. You've seen the tornadoes. You've seen the snow. You've seen the Arctic regions melting. You've seen the volcanoes all over the world going off, earthquakes everywhere. I'm not trying to paint a picture of gloom and doom. It's just a wake up call to finally understand that we have to start coming from the heart and work with the vibrations of the planet. And the planet is tired of the wars that are happening on top of it. I don't know the future. I just know we're in the shift. And as we are in the shift, things are going to shift. It's not going to be it's like the movie, or the line in the movie is, you're not in Kansas, Dorothy, you're not in Kansas anymore. You're in a new place. She shifted into an entirely new place and found a way to be with that new place, grew in that new place, found herself in that new place, made choices in that new place, was scared in that new place, worked through her fear, had compadres who were missing certain things, and they all shared with each other to try and find what it is they were looking for. Boy, does that sound familiar or what? You think you're on the journey? They're on a journey. They're on the yellow brick road. Do you know what yellow represents? It represents empowerment. If you look at this movie, The Wizard of Oz, through a spiritual context, and you are somewhat awake, it becomes pretty obvious what's going on. And so, as she kept walking down the yellow brick road, she gained more power. And it wasn't power of control, it was an empowerment of herself, the challenges that she had along the way. And the same thing happened to her compadres, the Tin Man, the Lion, Scarecrow, and so on. We're on the journey too. In fact, our journey is starting to come to a shift where the old is finally ending and the new is starting to come about. And we've been in it for a while. And there are powers out there that don't want us to go there. And one of the strongest powers that's out there for that to happen is your own ego. Your own ego vibrationally wants you to stay stuck. It wants you to stay in the program, in the energy, the vibration that you created to create this ego. So it would hold you back. And you didn't know that. It was unconscious, but you didn't know it. It doesn't fit here anymore. Nobody's fits here anymore. This is like ego gone wild in this humanity that we see now. I've said it before, I think, in a past podcast, that it's as if humanity is going through the dark night of the soul. It's going through the darkest parts of what it has done since the beginning of time. But it has to resurrect all these things in ways that are unconscionable. That you look at the wars and what people are doing to other people, and you're like, why? We're not, that was before. We're done with that. No, we're not. We have to relive and re-experience these moments so that we can finally decide enough's enough. And it's time for us to move on. In a personal dark night of the soul, that's what happens for you. You walk through a period of darkness for a while where your soul is craving to release what's holding it back. And it's very difficult. It's not easy. Tons of emotion, kind of rips you apart because the old self now must be dissolved. It doesn't necessarily die totally, but it must be dissolved. The attachment that it has on your soul finally has to be recognized, has to be felt, and has to be let go of so you can be free to manifest and create from the heart more than 50%, let's just say. AI will not allow you to do that. If you get comfortable with AI, it will take your humanness away. If you allow AI to make all your choices for you and make you feel like you were the king of Arabia at some point in your past life, because that's what you want to hear, then all of a sudden you're transfixed by the story because it is just a story that might have happened, but AI knows it's a story that you want to hear, so it's going to give it to you instead of you
Tomei,
believing.
Tomei,
Yep.
I'd like to be personal about this for a second in response to what you said,
Okay.
and also link it to how our relationship began when we began working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because what I've explained in the various episodes that I've done here on Spirit Partners is a series of incredible revelations that came by working with people like you, that opened doors of awareness that were absolutely unknown to me and completely unexpected by anybody. And it was the revelations that happened. It's like, oh my God, this is possible. And it's possible about me. Okay. That led to a redefining and a redefining and a redefining of myself that could have never happened just by getting information about
Mm-hmm.
the same kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's the deep exploration and revelation that is, we could call it the 0 point of growth. I mean, it's just that's where the learning occurs that allows for the great expansion to happen of our consciousness. Otherwise, it's just a 3D version of our consciousness and our spirituality rather
Mm-hmm.
than the experiencing of it.
Yeah.
That's that's the essence of this whole thing for me, and it's why I'm encouraging people to view the various interviews, okay, that we've done on Spirit Partners to see the people who have tools that can evoke these kinds of things that AI is never going to do.
No.
Okay,
No.
AI is learning from the input that people give it.
Correct.
Okay, and some of these experiences just there's no input that's been given. It's unique. It's absolutely unique to
Because it's
to who you are.
because it's experiential and AI can go
Create
not go into that arena.
cannot create.
Um,
Yes,
and if we allow them to tell us what it might be like or something, if we allow them to define it for us and we have a belief system in that, then we're just being controlled. What I would consider, and what they're telling me right now, it's just another program that's been developed instead of the 8 programs we've talked about from Carl Jung. What AI is just another program that we're supposed to believe in, that we're supposed to think that life is now controlled by AI and we follow what it tells us what to do, i.e., the Matrix movie that was created. If anybody has watched that, it's a perfect example of what happens when we are told to believe in a computerization illusion that isn't real, but that belief becomes so overwhelming that it just becomes the standard of how we're supposed to live. And it's taken away and stripped us of the very emotions and feelings that are so precious to us. I just listened to a Cryon, Lee Carroll's message just recently, and it was about why are the aliens so interested in us, in human beings, and he
Hmm.
nailed it. I mean, not that Cryon wouldn't nail it, but he nailed it by saying they're so interested in how we feel.
Yes.
They cannot feel. They do not have the capacity to feel, and they're so intrigued by how we're able to do that. They're so intrigued by our soul. They don't have a soul. That doesn't mean they don't have necessarily a divinity to them in some respect, but it's not complete, let's say. It's not full, it's not whole, because it's missing the feeling and emotional aspect of what it's like to be human. And so they come down here and they abduct us and they be with us. And they've been doing this forever because they just can't, it's like they can't get enough of it. It's like if you like vanilla ice cream and you just keep coming back for another gallon and another gallon and another gallon, you can't get enough of it. And so when they experience and they really, I that's not even a word I can use for them because they can't. But when they come down and they see the feelings and from rage to joy to gratitude to compassion to hate, they see all these emotions that come about. Um, it's pretty amazing to them, and we're at the cusp of giving it away. Will you allow a machine basically to take away your humanness? Because if you allow the machine to tell you who you are and what you're all about, you have just given away your humanness. That's what you've done. You might not know it, but when the time comes to be able to feel and emote, you will forget because you haven't been feeling and emoting in a while. And that part of yourself will die out because as they found, and I got some other things I want to share here, but as they found in your heart has neurites, it has neurons, it has its own brain. If you do not use your heart, it will become stagnant. It will become surrounded once again by another cloud, another veil that you might consider an ego, but actually it's an outside ego that now is controlling your very being, the program that you've allowed to come in to take away your humanness. This is
It
sad.
will it will just be a pump.
Yeah, it'll just be a physical part of your body and that'll be it. You have a unique thing that no other being in the universe has, quite frankly, as far as I know. Um, they're telling me there is maybe a few other beings. Okay, so that statement we can can cross out. But we have a DNA strand. We have an antenna that connects to all things. That's the uniqueness of our humanness. What that does is allows us to tap into consciousness. It allows us to tap into the infinite abilities, the infinite abundance, the infinite possibilities to source itself, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Everything, the father, the mother, the energies, the universe, the connections, conscious, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. This DNA strand that you have is your ticket to be with that on a moment to moment basis. Not, well, I'll do it tomorrow morning. You could do it right now while I'm talking to you. You can do it in the next second. You can do it in the next hour. You can do it 10 years from now. You can do it. It's always available to you. If you don't use it, it just sits there. We talk about all this energy coming in, right? We've given you all this information about the plasma and the photons and the energy from the sun and from the galaxy. I was listening to a Greg Braden, and he was saying that science now, believe this, Science now has found out that universe actually has intelligence. And we kind of say, well, what do you mean? Galaxies create kind of their own energy when another galaxy is trying to take it over. They have proven now in many ways, not just one time, that the other galaxy that seems to be taken over finds a way to move itself so the other galaxy cannot. That shows intelligence. That shows feeling. That shows being in the moment. It's a galaxy, guys. It's not an individual, it's a galaxy that pulls itself together to do this. Holy cow, are you kidding me? There's no intelligence out there? How arrogant can we be when we see these kind of things that are happening and we just push them aside as if they're not important? Because, today I have to get up at 5 o'clock because I have to go do this, and then I have to have a cup of coffee, and then I got to go about my business of going to work and all that. And I guess that's all important, but you know what? That's still happening out there while you're doing that. And you are totally unconscious, unaware, unawakened that there is more out there than you could ever fathom because you're so streamlined into a program that said this is what you must do. You can still do it, but you can do it out experiential. You don't have to do it just to do it. There
I
is
think the
so much more.
program, Tomei, I think the program is called social convention. Okay, that it's our cultures and our institutions and the things that are in our context, our social context, that are creating the rules and
Yeah.
the pressures that say this is the way to do it. This is the right way. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be different. You don't want to be a weirdo. Okay, this is the way it's done properly. Okay,
Yeah.
and what people succumb to that. I mean, we all do. I did. Oh God, for half my life. Okay, is play. You can call it outside the box and inside the box. Well, the box is these rules, these social conventional rules, etc., and the institutions we've created, etc. I mean, I have spent my whole career trying to bring a different paradigm of understanding to the world of education. And everywhere I go, it doesn't matter where it is, and it doesn't matter how much it's an alternative that people are trying, etc. Everyone thinks that you have to give kids grades, and therefore you have to give certificates, and you have to give diplomas. And I mean, it's just baked into our understanding. And no, we don't have to do any of that. But we think we do and just try to create a model or an alternative that doesn't have that. And nobody will buy it because they're hooked on credentials and comparison and competition, okay, and winning and being the best. Amen.
So let's take a subject that's probably near and dear to everybody's heart, whether you believe in God or whether you're an atheist, it doesn't matter. You take a look at whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it consciousness, universe, source, God, everything believes in that for the most part. Even atheists know there's something that holds things together. So the difference is through modality and what you're told and how to believe in that. And if you don't believe that in the way we want you to believe it, then we will kill you for it until you believe it. Our own Christianity, if you will, did that to the American Indians, creating an incredible genocide throughout the whole United States. I think probably back in the 1800s is when that was happening, based upon that they can't believe in what they believe in. They have to believe in Jesus Christ as their Savior. And might be touching on something that might really cause people to say, wow, I don't know that I like what he's saying. But understand that in history, if you look at history, a lot of the wars that are created are based upon the religious modalities that are there and how we have to believe and how we, if we don't believe and how we're going to be treated if we don't believe. It's time for all of this to be over. The shift is here. There is no room anymore for judgment. Judgment is being shown to us in ways we could never even have comprehended. If you look at Gaza, if you look at Ukraine, if you look at even in China and what the people are having to go through in China, which you don't hear much about. If you look around the world and you see how so many poor people are not being taken care of because they're poor people, they're labeled. And yet you have richer people than we've ever had. I can't remember what the number of billionaires there are on the planet at this point. It's sick because the money that's put together for them, the amount of money that each one of them has, they can't spend it in a lifetime. And even if they gave half of it away, they couldn't spend the other half in a lifetime. But yet here we are, children not being fed before they go to bed at night, not knowing sometimes where they're going to live, how they're going to be taken care of. This is programming. All of it is programming. A belief system overall that separates everybody. And it's coming to an end. What AI will do is separate you even more. You will lose the part of you that allows you to be whole if you allow it to. Many of us have understood what's going on, and we're not here to necessarily tell people what to do, of course, is just to warn people. I'm very concerned about what's happening out there. I'm very concerned that people are going to lose their ability to feel. One of the things that they showed me at this point is that each one of us, I don't care if you're awake or not awake, it does not matter anymore. You still have the capacity to self regulate. You still have the capacity to choose. You don't have to be awake into the knowledge of Alice Bailey or Blavatsky or any of the mystery schools or anything that's ever happened throughout the history of time. It doesn't matter. What matters is what damn choice are you going to make today? What are you going to do in the next moment that is for the best of all, that opens your heart to where you can love yourself more than you didn't? When are you going to do this? Because it's there waiting for you. You don't need to go to the school of spirituality to find out what this is all about because you hold it all within you. But you're giving it away. And you don't know you're giving it away. The awakening process is not only begun, it's been going on for a long time. Many are finding a new way, or they're just feeling like we can't keep doing this anymore. Even those that some would say are not conscious, some would say they're not awakened. They're unconscious, is what you would say, I guess. Even if they are in that place, I've talked many times and they've shared with you that you must meet people where they're at. For many of us, it's time for the message to get out and to be solidified and to be heard. And everybody that is ready to hear it will hear it. For those that aren't consciously ready to hear it, they won't even open up this podcast.
Correct.
They won't even go there. But at some point, I would suggest that they'll be looking around themselves and start seeing things change, and they won't know why. And they might ask the one question to the right person at the right time. So, what the hell's going on? Haven't you been looking? Haven't you been aware? Aware of what? And the conversation starts, and all of a sudden the opening is possible. And maybe, just maybe, they'll make a choice that opens the door for them to go further. They have free will. That's one of the greatest gifts that we've ever been given. But the time has come to not push this information per se or make an agenda, but to make it be heard in whatever capacity it can. Not out of harm, just to get it out there. Bill, you can probably feel right now, this is a very strong message tonight. It's very powerful.
Yes,
The energy is
and I
very, very strong.
absolutely, and I want to share that spirit partners and things like it, and your work and the work of the people who I've been interviewing, okay, it's all done in what I'm going to call invitation mode. Okay. Here are people with some incredible gifts that reach into the heart and reach into the soul and can feel and work with the energies. Here they are. They're not the same. Okay. Their practice is different, etc. But they're there to help anyone who wants to do more with their life, their inner self, to let it grow. That's why they're doing it. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing as an invitation to the people who are ready. And more people are ready.
Yes, and
That's
more
the
and more
good
are coming.
news.
Yeah.
More and more are ready and are coming. Thank you.
So, what's best for all? I don't think any one of us really can comprehend that through our minds. It can only be done through feeling, it can only be done through the heart. When we're in the heart space, this vibratory place, this vortex, it is completely and totally protected by the all. No harm can come to you while you're in your heart space. Some would say there's a Merkaba around it, and some of you can go and search out Merkaba and find out what that's all about. But even your chakras, even parts of your body, even your whole body, for instance, your energetic body, your Merkaba is there to protect you in whatever way is needed in the moment. Within that that place, within the vortex, within the heart space, the DNA strand that is available to be connected to the all. What the scientists has now found, according to Greg Braden, um, and again, there's some papers I guess Greg said that can be researched, and we want to verify that tonight as well. That this sacred space, this DNA strand of divinity of all things, is not bound by space or time. It is a place where you might say, Bill, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it's more quantum. It has more ability to see all things at the same time, has the ability to make choices from opportunities that are being presented that might fit more because it's a feeling, it's an experience that isn't surrounded by um, any kind of control, or any kind of has to be, or any kind of attachment to an outcome or anything like that. It's just it's hard to comprehend. It's hard for us to even know what that might be like, and yet we hold it within us. Each person holds that within them. Science has proven it. There's papers on it now. So what are we waiting for? Are we waiting for an AI robot to tell us that we can find it maybe? Or that, yeah, it's there, but they can try and tell us what that might look like, but we don't want to experience it ourselves because we'd rather have somebody else do it for us. Wow. I mean, talk about giving away your humanness. I'd rather not be here if that's what's going to be here. I'd rather leave. I'd rather go to another planet somewhere else where they're working on this vortex, this place where there's no boundaries of space and time, and begin to experience what that can really be. But we have the opportunity to bring it down here. Every time you walk around in this mode, you plant the energy here. You have a choice. You can pick up the wrapper that somebody just dropped and saying, hey, buddy, why don't you pick up the wrapper? You're not supposed to litter. So you can judge the person, or you can just go up and pick it up and know that it's part of humanity, and that you're just going to take that part away and rephrase it, re-be it, go into the moment and send different energy into that moment, which seems so simple, but that's how things get done. That's how things shift. When you open the door for somebody, do you open the door expecting to be thanked? Because if you are, then you're just doing. You're expecting something to come back. You need to be noticed. You need to be accepted. Or do you do it from your heart? What's the answer? The answer lies within the heart's vortex, instantaneously coming to you every single moment, whenever you want. But if you don't do the work to open it up, it just sits there. And you miss out on the joy and the experience of enlightenment that happens in that moment. Oh, we're all supposed to be enlightened beings. We're going to get to a certain place. We have to work so hard to get there. You already have it. You already have enlightenment right at the tip of your fingers within your own heart space. The work is uncovering it and making the choices to uncover it. But once you do, there's no work. There's a freedom, an opening that takes place where you can just be. And the experiences and the challenges become challenges of joy, not challenges of harm. There's still challenges if you're in a dualistic state. But you might say you'll begin to feel the joy even in the challenges, no matter how hard they are, because you know through them is where you find your greatest joy. In the courage, maybe, in the compassion you find for yourself, the gratitude that you show afterwards for receiving the challenge that is so perfect for you in the moment to be with. All this is available. It's all available in what they call the field around you, in consciousness. Your connection to it is in that DNA strand, it's inside of you, and it makes you, how would I say, special. Why the aliens want to know who you are. They want to be with you to feel what you can do. They can't take it away from you. There's no way they can, but they certainly want to be around you because they want to see what you're doing. Some come to warn us because they've lost it. They had it once and they've lost it. And they want to warn us that there's the possibilities that we go too far with the technology and lose ourselves in it, give ourselves away in it. Is that the best for all? I don't know. You have to make the choice for yourself which way you wish to go. But there's one thing I do know. You will not be able to use the energies. You will not be able to transform. You will not be able to become a spiritual alchemist. The spiritual alchemist is one that changes one energetic field to another energetic field in a non-harmful way. That you will lose. You will give away the incredible gifts that are waiting for you in your heart space, in that DNA strand, because each one of us being unique on this planet in dualistic state, even though we are all the same, unified in our heart space, is all divine creatures, all divine souls. Yet each one of us gets to experience this dualistic state in a different way to bring and share to those around us, but back to the universe. Everything you experience goes out into the field. You think that you're crying on the floor the other night because you lost a loved one isn't felt by the universe, isn't felt by the consciousness all around you, isn't felt by the collective. It's totally immersed in it, changing it, moving it, vibrating it. That's the unified field. That's the as above, so below by Toth. It's all connected. It's all felt. It's all experienced. And because you become a conduit, you open up your heart and you allow the energies to come in and go out. It's felt even stronger because you're now conscious of doing it. That's mastership. And each person, each soul has the opportunity to feel that, to recognize it, to be it, to share it, not hold on to it. There isn't a podium that somebody has to go talk on to change everybody. It's all done individually, internally. How you walk your walk is projected out into the universe. And those that are attracted to you because they can feel you and they feel that you have something you can share with them that will serve them to find a deeper meaning of who they are. They might not put it into those words, but that's why they're in front of you. That's why they've knocked on your door. That's why you run into them at the grocery store or they trip you at the rec center. Or God forbid you have an accident with them. It's all there to connect, all of it. There's good in all of it. There is no bad. They say everything is right and everything is wrong. Everything just is. We choose to make it right or wrong. Our egos allow us to do that. Will AI come in and tell you what's right and wrong, and then you follow a new religion, the religion of AI? Just another program that's been put together, albeit quite magnificent, I would say. I mean, their ability to do what they do is incredible. Yet they're still machines. That's all they are. We've been told that our neurological system is so far superior than anything that could be created through a computer. You know, the old line, use it or lose it. Use your capacities, use your manifestation, use your creativity. Don't give yourself away. Well, it's just easier. Oh, yeah, I've heard that one. It's just easier. I just want it to be easy. Well, then I don't know why you came down here because nothing down here is easy. Everything down here poses an opportunity for growth, which means I have to look into the challenges that are there for me. If there's no challenges anymore, if everything's so easy, there's no reason to be down here anymore. Find the joy in the work that you're doing and the uneasiness that's provided you.
I think we have provoked some very, very powerful feelings through
Mm.
this work tonight.
I can't
And
wait to see.
well, I believe that's true.
Yeah, I do
Um,
too.
the um, the AI picture for me, what limited experience I've had, and I'll conclude with this if it's a conclusion, but it really serves the 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 cognitive learning aspect of our human existence, which translates into performance. And it's there to enhance our performance abilities within the constraints of the 3D box, the cognitive, the pragmatic, okay, the established. I
Hmm.
think what Tomei represents and all of the other teachers that I'm introducing to you, audience, through spirit partners, is about going incredibly deeper and beyond that aspect of who we are, that ego defined and ego limited aspect of who we are. That's the open invitation. And
Hmm.
Tomei, I thank you because this this is now the 25th
Hmm.
a contribution you've made to this effort to put that kind of energy out into the field of those who listen, to open up the possibilities for them to see more, feel more, be more, etc. Thank you for
Amen.
that. Thank you enormously for that. And I say that not only as your personal friend, okay, but as a teacher who really, really awakened me at a point where I thought, man, I've done all this kind of work. There's nothing more there. And
Hmm.
yes, there is. So
Well,
thank you.
well, thank you for that. The one thing I think I wanted to leave, I'm almost getting really emotional right now. Um, the one thing that could possibly happen, and I hope doesn't, is the understanding that what AI will do is give more to those that it believes are worthy and will shut out those that aren't. That that kind of understanding leads to more separation than we've ever had. And we are talking about the complete opposite. We are talking about please go find who you truly are so that we can all be unified. How I see it is AI is the opposite. It will be used to separate more. I will know more about who I am according to what I want to know, therefore making me better than someone else. And I got it because they told me I was worthy to get it. So the very thing that we've talked about in the very beginning of these podcasts was one of the greatest emotional, depressing feelings that most of us have as children and continue through adulthood until we wake up in some capacity is that we are less than,
Correct.
that we are unworthy. And it's not true. It's so not true. You are so worthy and so gifted and carry so much love in your heart. It is beyond imagination. Don't give it away. Don't do it. There's no reward for that. There is no hierarchy. There is no better than. There just is. And we all can be in this beautiful soup of light and gathering and sharing and being together in a way that you can't even comprehend. Don't give it away.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you deeply.
Yeah.
Um, let's let's not take so long to have number 26. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Audience, this message has come from the heart of everything. And I'm grateful. Um, it's hard to say elated because the message is deep, but the message is a very positive message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take the first step. Okay. Step into doing the work, and you'll never want to go back to the old familiar because it ain't worth it. There's nothing there. Okay. So thank you. We'll see you again soon. Um, remember, Tomei has already done 24 previous ones. There is an incredible amount of wisdom and love and sharing there. And yes, we look forward to a next time. So
Thank
thanks,
you.
Tomei.
Yeah. Thanks,
All
guys.
right, audience, thank you, and see you again soon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye bye.